You're listening to Heroes in the Moment.
What's up, heroes? I'm Michael.
And I'm Nathan.
And today it's a week in a flash.
Come on. I'm excited for this one, We're going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to take the lead here.
Yeah,
try my hosting
Since
chops.
my social media is gone.
Yeah. No, I respect that,
We'll see how long it lasts. Hopefully for a long time. We'll see.
Yeah, a day later. After you told me to delete it last time, the Instagram feature where you can see what your friends liked. I was on it and I saw you like something. I'm like,
Boy,
I know that boy just downloaded Instagram.
I downloaded to check something and then I deleted it again. I still don't have it. It's
I respect it. It's good for your minds.
It is good for your minds.
Don't get it.
Don't get it. Don't ever get it.
I need to delete it.
No.
My screen time is like 8 hours right now.
Holy cow.
I know.
Mine's went down from 3
9
to 1.
Yeah, 1?
1. And I don't even know what it's for.
Stop.
Yeah.
You are not. I don't know anybody with a screen time of 1 hour.
Let me see. I mean, maybe it was more
1 hour.
But I don't know what else I'd be on.
1 hour?
Constitute 1 hour.
Like you don't just
more than 1 hour.
I guess like if you're not just scrolling through.
Today it's been 41 minutes. 41 minutes.
I'm kind of scared to check, man. Well, I always use them.
Friday was an hour and 26 minutes.
Okay.
Yesterday was 3 hours and 35 minutes, which was part of that was on Twitch. Watching you.
Yeah, I'm streaming on Twitch at Diabeater. Diabeeter.
Check out his Twitch.
Streaming some Marvel Rivals.
It was fire.
Michael's in the comments hyping me up.
It was great. It's the best thing I've ever seen.
I'm at 5 hours today. Okay. I was using it for work. All right. Anyway, let's get to the news. We don't have a ton. We have a little bit from the Dune world. We have a little bit from DC, just a tiny bit from Marvel. And we're going to start with Dune, actually. So for Dune Messiah coming up, obviously.
2026, right?
2026. Denis Villeneuve was planning on making another move, but he's like, scrap that. Everyone wants Dune 3.
That's very true.
So apparently, this is confirmed that Jason Momoa is coming back as Duncan Idaho.
Yeah.
The Messiah, which is awesome.
It is awesome. I mean, to those that know the spoilers, we won't get into spoilers, but you could envision that, knew that was going to happen when it comes to Dune Messiah. But I'm so excited for this movie. I think the only people that are for sure confirmed that we know is Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Anna Taylor-Joy is the sister, and
she's gonna be cool.
Jason Momoa. So, and I hopefully Josh Brolin would also be returning, and then Florence Pugh as well. But we're super excited for Dune Messiah 2026, because after Dune Part 2, everybody was just like, we want Dune Messiah, which the only thing is there's going to be a time jump. So I don't know, well, at least according to the books, unless they change it, there was a 12-year time jump.
Of course.
Because you have to have the sister to grow up.
Yeah.
So I wonder how that's going to play.
I don't know.
Over.
I do know that he's going to try to take some creative liberties.
I feel like
at least as much as he can.
At least what I've heard.
Because it's much more political.
It is. It's not near as action-packed as like the first Dune was, and Dune Part 2 specifically. And, Dune Part 2 has implemented itself as one of the best movies ever, I would say at this point.
Yeah.
With recency bias put to rest, I think it is considered one of the best movies ever, and I would agree with that.
Yeah.
And it's definitely one of the best sequels ever, because I would
so
put it
good.
over the first Dune for sure.
It's so good, yeah.
So then Dune Messiah, it has a lot riding on it because, like you said, it's very political, it's very dramatic, it's very that. A lot of people, I can see a lot of audiences stepping back, be like, I'm not interested.
More like an Andor situation than like a Mando.
Like people would appreciate it, but they would also be like, it's not as fun as like Dune Part 2.
Seeing him ride a sandworm,
right?
Like
and that's sick. And
IMAX.
we want to see that. And a lot of it would be Paul Atreides as the Grand Emperor of the world, and how that would kind of translate. Maybe if he is taking some of those creative liberties, maybe we can see them going to war in space or something, or some cool battle scenes there. And I don't know, it just would be cool to see this world, and even more so than just Arrakis, even though that's the main point of Dune is Arrakis, but it'd be cool to kind of see some space battles in this world as well.
I've been thinking about how lucky, Dune fans are in general to have a director as like passionate and as talented as Denis making their trilogy. Like, do you think like how many other like franchises have had that, for themselves? Like, look, like Denis to Dune is like, that's crazy. It is like, that's better than Nolan to the Batman trilogy. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just such a great appreciation for that source material, a love for it. Like, when's the last time we saw a director with that, like, fully commit to a 3-movie thing?
Lord of the Rings is the last time.
Like, really, essentially, it's been, like 20 years something.
Yeah, truthfully. So, Lord of the Rings and the original Star Wars
that's
trilogy.
so lucky, And you think about the Star Wars movies or some of the newer ones, and, it's moving every time, and you're like, it's clear it's not. The love for the material is always there.
And that's the thing is with Dune, it's also introducing us to this world that's has so much potential, similar to Star Wars or Marvel or other stuff to continue. I mean, it had Dune Prophecy on Max,
which I've not seen.
I saw the first episode, but I haven't gone. It was interesting what I've seen, and then I'm sure they've got plans to adapt Children of Dune or maybe other Dune books as they go along. I'm sure there might be plans of that, but I also would be perfectly okay with it just being Dune Messiah, and that's
a trilogy,
and just a trilogy, and saying goodbye.
Obviously, they're gonna want more money, but just like a perfect trilogy, sometimes you have to let it be.
And also, if not a lot of people saw Dune and Dune Part 2. I mean, a lot. I mean, more people did. Yeah. But if they market it correctly and definitely get better release dates, because that's the thing. With the delays, it had problems with the release dates. Like Dune Part 2 being released in March was not a good release date. Or Dune, the first Dune being released when it was, what a lot of people didn't know about it, wasn't marketed particularly well with the delays and the COVID. It also affected it. So Dune Messiah, and I think it's a December release date, which is December is always an amazing release date. So, and maybe we could see Dune break into the $1 billion group. But
I think it's possible, especially being the third and the final one. So we'll see about that.
Just know Austin Butler.
That black and white scene.
Oh, it's the best.
Cinema. That was actual cinema.
That was cinema.
That was cinema.
Unlike Captain America.
Brave New World. In some Marvel news, kind of a two-parter here. So Daredevil Born Again Season 2 confirmed for 2026, which we knew. And then apparently the plan is to have annual releases for the seasons. However many
going back to that.
Yeah.
I like that. Because that's what it used to be.
Exactly, yeah.
Prior to streaming services, everything, like literally every show came out once a year with a season, and there were like 20 episodes a season.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. I mean, yes, you produce great quality work, but what the heck? I mean, not every
25 years later, they're coming out with the final season.
And not every episode has to be a movie.
Kids are married and
and even though it is kind of cool to see it as a movie, and it's a different kind of show, but that's with any streaming service show that besides just Stranger Things. I mean, Squid Games, Outer Banks. I mean, I think of even some Max shows you think of. I mean, shows don't need. I mean, they're TV shows. They're not big budget movies. Mm-hmm. So, yes, take your time, get good quality writing, but produce good, a season a year. Breaking Bad, those seasons were back to back to back, and they were phenomenal.
It's not that hard.
It's not that hard.
Okay, I can't really say that I'm not making the shows, but man, like, why not?
I mean, they used to. That's why we're comparing it. That's what they used to always do from when the first shows came out with weekly releases all the way from back in the 50s, all the way to the early 2000s. And then Netflix, Disney Plus, Max, all this stuff came out. And now it's like, oh, you get a season every 3 years. I'm like, what? And it's only 6 episodes or 8 episodes. I'm like,
I don't have time to wait 3 years for another season.
No, you get.
And in 3 years, I forgot what happened, and I no longer care.
And there's a big problem with movies too, like part 1 and part 2s. Like if you're gonna do a part 1, part 2 movie, you got to release them 1 year apart.
Yeah,
Spider-Man, Batman. I mean, it's ridiculous.
No, anyway. I'm with you, man. Go off, Michael. Marvel says that there are plans for Moon Knight to return in the MCU, but not likely for season 2. So, I thought they were doing a season 2.
I was under the impression they were also doing a season 2 of Moon Knight. But as long as Moon Knight returns, because Moon Knight is one of the better things that Marvel's produced in the recent years. So, I mean, I love Oscar Isaac in that role. And plus, with the Jake Lockley thing at the end of season 1, sorry, spoilers, those of you might not have seen Moon Knight, I feel like it did give way for a season 2, but apparently we're not getting one. So it's just really Marvel still in shambles.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I really don't. But this news, Michael, kind of caught me off guard. Okay. And I know you're kind of feeling unsure about it too, but apparently Marvel is rumored to be making an X-Men TV series that's going to focus on the Young Mutants at Professor X's school for gifted youngsters. Yeah. So how do you feel about them making a TV series?
I feel mixed feelings. I mean, naturally, I would be more on board with it if they confirmed that we're getting an X-Men movie first. If we're getting a full-blown movie first, I would be a little bit more adept to listen to what their plans are for a TV series. However, I just got a lot of questions, with what the MCU's been doing. If you're going to do a TV series, do it right. And what particular mutants are going to be the ones you're going to focus on? Are you going to focus on younger, like more lesser known mutants? Or are you going to focus on more well-known mutants? Who is your demographic? What is your goal in this storytelling? What's the villains going to be? How is that going to relate to the rest of the whole X-Men universe that you're going to be introducing here before long? There's just a lot of questions that I see. And when you look at shows like X-Men 97, which was so brilliant.
Yeah.
I would almost prefer you keep that in the show and keep doing with that, and then you just keep the X-Men you're going to adapt out in the movies.
I know.
I just feel like there's so much, with you just wanting to branch out so much that I'm almost over the whole Disney Plus MCU motif. And I just want all MCU products to go to the movies and Disney Plus to focus on the more animated or more free-range storytelling that doesn't necessarily pertain to the whole, like X-Men 97, and then they've got the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man now, which I've actually heard good things about.
I heard it was actually pretty solid.
I haven't watched it, but I've heard good things about it, so I'm gonna have to check it out to see for myself. But stick, more animated, more central projects that may not connect as much just for fun to the Disney Plus, but your mainstream MCU stuff in the movies like you used to. And I think it would be more beneficial as a whole. But maybe they've got a better plan. I don't know.
Yeah, I did hear that a lot of people were apparently confused during Brave New World about like how,
I was confused
Anthony
the entire
Mackie, how he was Cap. They were like, what? Oh, was I supposed to watch the TV show?
Really? Yeah. They didn't watch Falcon Winter Soldier.
Which is what I'm saying, but they might not have had motivation to watch.
Okay, that's a little bit weird though, and I blame the fans for that actually. Because
even though it's a Captain America movie?
I blame the fans because for that particular case, because at the end of Endgame, he got the shield. Even if you didn't watch the show, you should know he's going to be the next Captain America. So,
but I mean,
you don't really have.
I know he got the shield, but we never got to hear like, he's a new Cap.
You never got to see validation. But at the same time, you had Falcon Winter Soldier. You could have, and even though like you may not have watched, that was the whole purpose of saying Falcon Winter Soldier is optional. You can go see how he does become Captain America full on. Yeah. But he got the shield at Endgame, so you know he's going to become it. So that I kind of, not to blame the fans, but I would say like fans do a little bit more homework if you watch Endgame, you would know.
Regardless, I'm with you. I don't love, Marvel making us watch these shows to keep up with the movies.
Right, it's too much.
It's not the same.
It's too much for casuals. Yeah.
But in other news, also staying with kind of on a negative score streak here, the director of Brave New World, Julius Onah, apparently he confirmed that the post-credit scene in Brave New World, obviously if you've seen it, is teasing the Illuminati.
How so?
Well, that's what I want to know. So apparently, like in the first draft of the film, the Illuminati was supposed to show up.
Okay.
Which I'm like,
in what capacity?
So no, first of all, imagine the Illuminati with all the other subplots they got going on in that movie, like with the red hole,
show up,
and then like with the Eternals plot and everything. Like, why is the Illuminati here?
Why is the Illuminati here?
So I mean, I always saw the spoilers. We've already dropped it, but it's just the leader saying, "Oh, there's other things, other people.
There's a multiverse.
So
yeah. So I don't know how that could pertain to the
I didn't catch one word.
Plus,
that they're teasing Illuminati.
Yeah, with the Illuminati have being introduced in Multiverse of Madness, also, I feel like that's just a bit strange.
I feel like it's bad writing. I feel like no, I feel like it's atrocious. If I'm being honest, now you're going back like, oh, by the way, this is what was happening. Like, we never would have known that. If I'm being honest,
you got to make it obvious. Back in the day with the end credit scenes, they would tell us what was going on, or at least we could heavily infer what was going on. Exactly. There, we just get the leader in a prison cell saying, "There are other worlds out there, Sam Wilson. What are you gonna do without it?"
No way, bro. Like, we haven't been watching these multiverse movies for the last 7 years. It's something to do with Spider-Man, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The best end credit scene of all time.
But and apparently, as the last piece I have for the Marvel news, the Swordsman actor Tony Dalton apparently is confirmed to return in Daredevil Born Again.
I'm not mad
which
at that.
I hope they don't nerf him kind of like they did.
They
in
did
Hawkeye.
nerf him in Hawkeye.
Like, does he ever do anything?
No,
he's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. He's not even a bad guy.
He's supposed to be bad, ain't he?
Bad. So hopefully they make him, because we know Tony Dalton has acting chops. At least those who've seen Better Call Saul know he's phenomenal in that particular show. So maybe we can, in Born Again, which Born Again's less than or a week away now. So
is it actually?
It is March 4th.
It's a week. Hey, tune in for that.
Tune in for that. We're definitely.
We gotta do that. When are those episodes coming out? Weekly.
Weekly. I'm pretty sure.
Do we know which day of the week they're coming out? Yeah.
What day is March 4th?
What I said. I don't know.
Let's see what day March 4th is on.
Because the 30th
March 4th is on
is a
Tuesday.
Sunday.
March 4th is Tuesday. So it's coming out Tuesdays.
All right.
So, yeah, we'll get those definitely.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. Yeah, I'm excited to see that. I'm optimistically cautious. Obviously, I'll compare.
I like that.
Optimistically cautious.
I like that.
Moving over a little bit to DC. Recently, Keanu Reeves, a.k.a. the GOAT, a.k.a. John Wick, he recently gave an update on Constantine 2. So apparently, the writers pitched a story to DC. DC approved. Apparently, they're writing the script.
Elseworlds, right?
They say that it's taking place in the same world as the OG. So the OG is Elseworlds. Then it would be.
Yeah, it would be.
And apparently, they've been trying to do a sequel for 10 years, 11 years. And they're just now getting it greenlit. So
of course they
makes me wonder why. Was the first one just a flop at the? Like, it's not a great movie.
No, but it
like,
flops
it's really
really,
not.
It,
You
it
know,
flops really badly. I'm pretty sure. I'm actually curious. I'm gonna look that up for us. See what Constantine the first movie.
Like, I feel like they have the tools to do it well.
They
you
do
know?
it better.
Like,
it's
no
just,
matter
I
who
don't see
Keanu Reeves
Keanu
is,
Reeves
people
as
love him.
Constantine.
Well, exactly, yeah.
But
I mean, let's be honest.
let's see. What did Constantine?
He is fire in Sonic
Francis
3.
Lawrence directed it. Really? He did the Hunger Games.
Huh? I couldn't tell.
No. Let's see. Box office. It made $230 million. Not a lot, but more than I thought.
I wonder.
The budget of Constantine?
I'm gonna say 100, which would be a ton. I feel like back then.
Movie budget. 100 million.
Woo! So, and they probably made obviously a lot through DVD sales too, to make up everything. But yeah, no, I foresee this maybe hitting like maybe 3 or 4. You know, it's gonna be rated
it's
R.
Not gonna be
I hope they take a dark turn with it.
It just feels like it would, even though it's not Sonyverse, it'd feel like a Sonyverse kind of deal. But maybe it'll be better than that. Maybe, I mean, with Keanu Reeves, you know, aka the Bush from SpongeBob.
Bush from SpongeBob.
It also maybe we'll get that a good movie.
He turned down Star Wars, but then he like accepted the job in his SpongeBob
as literally as a
movie.
Hey thing that
I love that.
He just shows up.
One of my favorite things ever is when Jim Carrey retired kind of after Sonic 2, and he's like, I'm only going to act if like an angel comes down from heaven with a script written in like gold, and then he signs on for Sonic 3. Oh my gosh. Shout out Jim Carrey.
And he signed on to our movie as well that we're producing currently. To let you guys know.
Exactly. So this is, I feel like, pretty big. Apparently, there's a Marvel and a DC comic crossover coming that will release later this year.
In the comics, so a return to the MCU DC crossover.
It makes me wonder what the storyline would be, and then maybe what potential matchups could we see or something.
Also,
like that.
it makes me think of the potential of James Gunn, Kevin Feige shaking hands, and we seeing that in the movies.
Yeah, hopefully Gunn just punches him in the face or something. Get your stuff together.
Get your stuff together.
I'm telling you, you see a decline in Marvel projects once Feige got that promotion and he was more hands off with projects. You start to see a decline.
Yeah, it's like, dude, go back, put your hands back on them projects.
No, that boy Kevin Feige should be like kissing James Gunn's feet, like you
come back.
Yeah, come back. You are the man.
Oh man, but yeah, that's cool. I mean, the original one was really cool concept. So maybe this one will do it as well.
I think so. I think it'll be fire.
Yeah.
And then kind of as our last piece of DC news, the director who did Speak No Evil this year, James Watkins, he's confirmed to direct Clayface.
Yeah. So, my only issue with that when it comes to Clayface is I was under the impression that Clayface was greenlit to come out because the original director for this movie had a great script, a great plan, all this stuff, really was a big fan of the character. Mm-hmm. And now that they've stepped out, it kind of sparks a little bit of concern. Not that I'm saying James Gunn's like, whatever this, doesn't know what he's doing. It just sparks a little bit of concern based off, if you had a plan, you had this director in mind, this director was going to be the one to direct this movie, and now it's kind of fallen into place. Will this movie actually serve the original purpose it was intended to?
Yeah. Because now, like we talked about last time, it's set to be like a horror piece.
Right.
But I could see it being like kind of comedic too.
Yeah, I mean, Clayface is I feel like in every media I've seen him has been more of a comedic character.
Yeah,
so
which I think that could balance really well.
Yeah.
So he's proven to be a good director. I think it could work. I just saw this. We could give our takes on this. Aman Vellani, Miss Marvel. She was recently interviewed, and they asked her what her favorite Marvel films were. Okay. So I'm going to read you the 6 she gave, and we're just going to talk about them. Okay. What we think. So the 6 she gave, and this is in no order, but she said Iron Man, Avengers, Ragnarok, Endgame, the first Guardians, and then Winter Soldier.
She's her.
On my list. I probably would have thrown it Infinity War, maybe.
I would have
thrown it Infinity War. Avengers, maybe.
I would have thrown Infinity War and Avengers, but that's a great list.
That's fire.
But I mean, every interview she gives, she
knows what she's doing.
She knows what she's talking about. She is Miss Marvel.
Harrison Ford too.
Great casting.
What are your favorite Marvel movies?
That one with
Blade Runner 2049. That was a good. Yeah,
that one's the best.
No, that was a good movie.
Sir, you were in that movie. That is not a Marvel movie. But I was in it.
That's exactly. No,
but
you're right,
Iman
man.
Vellani, every time she talks, like literally, she disses anytime. Like when somebody like Marvel contradicts itself, she disses them on purpose. She goes like that one interview. She was like, they asked her, so what do you think about being involved with Earth 616 and all this stuff in the MCU? And she's like, the MCU is not Earth 616. That's the comic universe. Our MCU is Earth 19999 whatever. And I was like, yes, Mama Lani, you know what's up.
She knows ball.
But yeah, that 6 she gave is definitely, those are real solid picks.
Yeah,
I would definitely validate those picks for sure.
No, that's a W take. No, I'm with that for sure. Ooh, and I saw this too. I don't know if it was worth talking about, but I feel like I don't know. So Angela Bassett, we all remember that she didn't win an Oscar for Black Panther 2. There's a lot of controversy.
There was.
Jamie Lee Curtis ended up winning that, which she was phenomenal. There's some other good nominees there as well. But they interviewed, they asked her about it. Like, what
Recently?
is it? Like, yeah, it's like 4 or 5 years later.
Yeah.
And then she said, quote, I thought I was deserving. I have put in the time. I didn't think that was a gift. I thought it was a given. So I wonder why they're still pressing the issue.
I know.
You got to respect that.
It's been a couple years. So.
How do you feel that you didn't win the Oscar?
I know. Why would you ask that question?
Like
Because
2020,
everybody thought she was going to win that Oscar.
Yeah.
And honestly,
that was going to be like Marvel's first.
Yeah. And honestly, she probably didn't because it was a Marvel movie. And I do agree that performance was incredible and was deserving. But yeah, I don't know why people would be asking that question a few years later.
I don't know. I just thought that was kind of odd. So, like I said, not a ton, obviously, this week. But, some good stuff in there nonetheless.
Yeah, we always enjoy to talk about what's there. But we are excited for potentially Jason Momoa coming back and Dune.
Yes, bro.
Though.
Duncan Idaho.
He's
so cool in that movie, bro.
My favorite.
In the first
he was
one.
my favorite.
See, Oscar Isaac was my favorite in the first film. Yeah, bro.
Jason
Oscar
Momoa
Isaac just,
And then I love me some Gurney as well.
Yeah.
And Josh Brolin. Love Gurney.
Shout out Josh Brolin, man. We got to get him on the pod.
Yeah, we do. Call him up. Say, you and Ethan Hawke, we want you both.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
They kind of look alike now that I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Both villains in the MCU.
Both villains, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see some more good guy roles, maybe. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for listening to this episode. And as always, if you liked it, please let us know by giving us a download and a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcast. If you guys want early access to our episodes and exclusive access to additional movie reviews, feel free to subscribe to our membership, Heroes HQ. We have a new feature on our episodes where you can send us a text message by following the link at the bottom of our episodes. You can submit your questions for Heroes Q&A there, or just shoot us a DM on Instagram. And then finally, feel free to also check out our YouTube channel and our Instagram at Heroes in the Moment.
And we just want to thank y'all for listening. And as always, we love you 3000.